There is no right or wrong way to activate your pineal gland, except if you're forcing something or using your insight for evil, ungodly purposes. However, things of a lower vibration can't reach the Godhead, no matter how much they would like to. It's been set up that way, and that's why you get the real and the counterfeit. Wanting it doesn't mean to say you're going to get it. Because just like when we don't give certain things to our children because they won't handle them, the same can be said for spiritual revelation. When we are kids, our pineals are usually open and we see naturally. But as life progresses, trauma leaves its scars and sometimes it just closes up, like a flower without sunlight. One might fast and pray, meditate and practice every yoga position one can, but the pineal remains closed. One might change one's diet, but nothing seems to want to open. Some might resort to drugs, from LSD, mushrooms, ayahuasca, and the pineal might be forced open, but closes again when the drugs wear off, and sometimes leaves a person uncontrollably open and unable to stop seeing things when they'd rather not have to. An example of this is a dear friend of mine who was slipped some LSD when he was 16 and he never recovered. His mind and insight went out of control, leaving him scarred for life. I met him when he was 50. Sometimes the pineal can become calcified, like limescale in a kettle. British researcher and scientist Jennifer Luke discovered high amounts of fluoride and toxins in her case studies. Fluoride is mostly found to accumulate in the local water supply, along with other toxins like pesticides and heavy metals. The fluoride forms phosphate crystals around the pineal gland, which is known as calcification. Scott Jeffrey says, unlike most of our brain, the blood-brain barrier doesn't isolate the pineal from the rest of the body. Instead, the pineal gets a tremendous amount of blood flow, second only to the kidneys. Surrounded by and immersed in cerebrospinal fluid, this gland camps out in a tiny cave-like area behind and above the pituitary gland. Currently, these tests that people are being forced to take, the PCR tests, are actually quite dangerous if you take this into consideration, that the blood-brain barrier doesn't isolate the pineal from the rest of the body. So if you think about that, what exactly are they trying to do, these controllers, when we could easily just spit into a glass? I must say I haven't had a test myself and won't be. So, what's the best thing we can do to precipitate opening up and coming face to face with God at Pineal? You can find that reference in Genesis 32:30 in the Bible. Well, first of all, we can come to terms with all we have done which may not have been our best work, and pray radical forgiveness for others and ourselves. This could be as simple as declaring, I forgive all those who have hurt me in all dimensions of time and space, knowingly and unknowingly, and I release them into divine love. They are free and I am free. I forgive myself in all dimensions of time and space for all things I have done to hurt others knowingly and unknowingly. I am free and they are free. We are all forgiven. Unforgiveness is a huge block. It's really important that we forgive, and it can sometimes be the hardest thing to do. And I know this personally. And perhaps I'll share that information at some point. but not here. So this process can be more detailed if you want to go deeper. If you really want to open up the flow, try this. Write down your mistakes. Write the time where it happened, when it happened, and describe it in detail. So when I say mistakes, I mean things that you would rather not have done, or things that perhaps weren't in other people's best interest. Once you've done this, for as many things as you can remember, burn them all and release them into divine love. It really actually helps to purify the channels on all sorts of levels, physically, mentally, on a soul level and spiritually. So we have to look at the organism, our temple, our body. What are we putting into it? This is really important. A calcified pineal is probably due to drinking fluoridated water, consuming toxins through food, and heavy metals through any other way, including dentistry. This is really important. Before you start to detox, please consult a qualified, functional medicine practitioner, naturopath, or a doctor for this next bit. I am not qualified to tell you how to detox your body, and so would ask you to take professional medical advice. There are some things that can help you detox, and I'll come to those in a moment. But detoxing may not be for everyone. Fasting might only be for some and not for others, but that does not mean it's exclusive. Saunas may not be okay for everyone. We're all different and have different needs. Ideally, it would be good to try intermittent fasting and to include at least 2 to 5 litres of purified water a day to flush out the system. Try to limit coffee to 1 a day or cut it out if you can. Increase green vegetables and decrease processed foods. Lay off the meat if your body will allow it, but not if you have any health conditions. Once again, consult a medical practitioner. I am not responsible for your choices. You must seek professional advice, and I am not liable. If you can take a sauna, that will help, but once again, not if you have a health condition. Things that can help you to detox are clean slate, carbon 60, iodine, cacao, organic food and drink, laying off the alcohol, and no recreational drugs. Add a little exercise, a walk or a stretch. Do as much or as little as you can. It's important that the body is clean inside, but take it easy and be gentle with yourself. This is really important. So this is the first port of call in preparing for activation. You might need a few weeks to get into it, gradually, so take your time. I will be uploading my personal protocol and doing daily lives and meditations because I'm doing this alongside you. Speak your daily forgiveness until it's done. Purify your channels by writing up your bad decisions and burning them. Forgive yourself. So this next point is optional and slightly awkward to speak about. Refrain from masturbation and consciously transform the sexual energy through conscious prayer, meditation, and declaration. And like I said, this is optional. You don't have to do this, but it will really surprise you to see what the results are. So it's not forever, it's your choice, but just think about it and try it. Try one night, try one day, whatever. And something really incredible happens when you allow the energy of the root energy center or your sexual energy to rise up through your body, through all of your energy centers without getting stuck, hopefully, into your pineal. Okay, this is just an incredible process. So we will start by focusing on the root energy center on the first day. I'll help you through a meditation for each energy center for each day, which will be pre-recorded. And you can do that, or you can do something else, whatever your form of meditation is. But the most important thing is that we clean up each energy center and the things that associate themselves with each energy center. Now, I'm not an astrologer. I don't do astrology, but I have friends who do. And I'm also very interested in the whole process of how energy works, and the sun energy and the moon energy and the earth's energy and the various different frequencies, because sound is my thing and frequency is so important. Sound creates form, and of course we know that everything is vibrating. So therefore it all has an effect over us as beings, as spiritual beings, and in the physical. In astrotheology, the process of potentizing the cerebral spinal fluid is really quite extraordinary. So the pineal creates lots of different hormones. But if you're talking about the land of milk and honey, as in Genesis, then you might just want to look at the honey-coloured substance that the pineal makes, and the milky kind of substance that the pituitary gland makes. Now you see, this goes to create the cerebral spinal fluid, which descends 33 degrees down our spine and then up, once again potentized back into the pineal gland. But before we get into any of that, I just want to prepare you. We're just going to prepare the body first, and then I can give you the option and the knowledge that you might need in order to take the steps that you want to take and not others. It really does depend on where you're at. So this might be for you or it might not be. But I'm here to help and guide. There is no hard and fast rule when it comes to tuning into God. I try to maintain a constant conversation with the Godhead on a daily basis, on a minute-to-minute basis, in fact, if I can. I'm constantly dwelling in that space, in that vibration. And when I don't dwell there, it's really obvious both to myself and other people. None of us are perfect, are we? So that's enough of that conversation. I will continue to speak about the process and the land of milk and honey in the next video.